Hello there guys, it's Bubulikaun here, back again on another video, and today I'm going to do What If My Hero Academia After Super Part 22. Hope you enjoy it. So last part, it was a war, literally. Frieza decided to come back to Earth and took it to himself like he said in the original. And the Earthlings, with the help of the Galactic Patrol, did put up a fight, but they were no match for Golden Frieza. Until Gohan shows up to save the world and he made quick work of Frieza. And I think that's it for a summary, let's begin. So right after Frieza was killed, the remaining Frieza force tried to run away, but most of them were cut off by the Galactic Patrol. Some of them did manage to run away, but one of them was taken by Grey Portal. At first the Frieza soldiers were shocked to see them just teleported from nowhere. Then all for one step out from the shadows and tell them, I am the one who saved you from that Galactic Patrol or whatever, and I have a proposition for you. And remember guys, this All For One did get his power back, so he have a power level around 60,000. So obviously they are terrified of him and they listen to him. Meanwhile the heroes are, well, for lack of terms, licking their wounds. Especially their pride, because some kids from high school are stronger than them. And who is this guy with the hair on top of his head? So Endeavor had enough of these secrets and asked All Might what's going on. Why some kids are stronger than pros? And who is that guy in orange? All Might doesn't know what to do, so Deku speak up and tell him, I think you already know that we are not alone in this universe after what just happened, right? Endeavor not. So here's what happened. Way before the quirks were a thing, some alien refugees come to Earth. 2 of them exactly. And after settling down, they form a family or families, and their children did, and generation after that, and generation after that. But here's the thing, those 2 aliens were from a dead race called the Saiyans, and by living in Earth, for lack of terms, they spread their genes. So right now, every human on Earth, or most of them, have a bit of Saiyan in them. And sometimes you have some rare case like me and Bra and Bakugo right now. We are more Saiyan-like than human, so that gives us access to this transformation. So that could transform to a Super Saiyan. Endeavor and the rest of the heroes were baffled. Then All Might looked at Deku and tell him, you sure want to tell them about everything? Deku shrugged and tell him they will know sooner or later. After that, the Earth went in a weird phase trying to accept that there are other life forms outside of the Earth, but no one said anything about the humans being part aliens, because, well, right now they are only humans. I don't know how to explain it. Basically all the humans on Earth are the same, but some of them will develop Saiyan-like attitudes if they have enough Saiyan in them. Sorry, this is the best explanation that I can come up with. So let's return to the story. Gohan still have the rest of the day before he have to go back to the other world. So he spent some time training with the new Saiyans, and the Frieza soldiers, or the ones that got captured, were taken to the Galactic prison. So after 24 hours, Gohan said his goodbyes and told them that the rest are cheering for them from the other world. So everyone was given 2 weeks to rest, especially Class 1A, and nothing happened for a few days until All For One decided to leave Earth. After he gathered enough information about what happened during the fight, he left taking with him Jigato Makia and the 3rd generation Numu. Well, a bunch of them. And his last word to Earth are, I will try my best All For One's voice. I will come back. So after that, All For One leave Earth, and if you're asking what will happen next, well, nothing. Everything returned to normal because All For One is not here to lead the charge, and there is no Shigaraki to take his place. So the League of Villains is sort of disbanded. Of course there will be some villains here and there, but it's just the norm. So a couple of months went by, and life seems to be normal. Bakugo was able to access Super Saiyan at will. Shigaraki is trying to get Super Saiyan because he sees the benefit of it, and it's way powerful than his Ikari form. And sometimes Deku catch him spacing out, so tell him what's going on. Shigaraki tell him he left Earth. Deku tell him who? All For One. I can't feel his ki anymore. Deku take a second, then realize he's right. He can't feel that evil dark ki anymore. So do you think he's dead? Shigaraki asked. Deku replied, I don't know, but I doubt it, because last time he was able to survive my blast, and I don't think some Frieza foot soldiers were able to beat him. Shigaraki stays silent, then Deku tell him, don't worry, if he ever come back, we will beat him. Shigaraki give Deku a slight smile and tell him, yeah, we will. But Deku still feels that Shigaraki is at a loss. If All For One actually died, what will he do next? Shigaraki's main purpose for getting stronger is to kill All For One. And even though they consider Shigaraki a friend, no one is close enough for him to give him some advice that will change his mind. Then he starts brainstorming someone that Shigaraki look up to. He starts thinking and thinking, then it hit him. He flies straight at Kami's lookout and asks him if he can bring someone back for one day. Then they nod and tell him he can still ask Baba, but who and why? Deku starts explaining the situation and Kami agreed, maybe that will work. So they go to Baba's place, and sure, she was against it at first, but because Deku just saved them from Frieza invasion and she can ask for literally everything using the Dragon Balls, she said yes. So she went to Otherworld and it took her some time, but eventually she come back with a person. So Deku thanked her and three of them teleport to UA. When they arrived, Deku asked the person to stay here for a moment. So he entered the dorm and asked if All Might and Shigaraki are here. The two of them show up and tell him, yeah, we are here. What's happening? You need something? Deku tell him, not really, but there is someone that want to meet you guys. Meet us? Deku now then he shouts, you can come in. So the person entered the dorm and All Might and Shigaraki are stunned. They are frozen. The person that Deku just bring is Nana Shimura. After two of them snap out of their shock, All Might asks, teacher, is that really you? Nana replied, teacher, wait a second, Yagi, is that really you? All Might rushed to hug his teacher. She was a bit shocked that All Might got this old, but she's happy that if he was able to live this long, he was able to beat All For One. Then All Might tell her, do you know who that guy is? Nana shook her head. All Might tell her, it's your grandson. Nana tell him, Tinkle, is that you? Shigaraki nods, still shocked that he can see basically his idol when he was a kid. Then Deku signaled to everybody else to leave the room. They need some time to catch up. And after she did and tell her what Shigaraki went through, she apologized because if she told All Might and Grand Torino about him, All For One will not have be able to get close to him. Shigaraki shook his head and told her that she did what she thought was best for me, and All For One only used dirty tactics to get what he wants, so it's not her fault. Then she asked about Grand Torino if he's still kicking. All Might laugh and tell her, yeah, he is. So why don't we go check on him? You only have 24 hours, so we have to do the most of them. She agreed and they go check on Gran Torino. And when they go to see him, he lost his For a second he thought he died because he seen a ghost. Then Nana smack him and tell him, so can a ghost do this? After realizing that this is the real Nana, he look at All Might and tell him, kid, explain now. All Might tell him, I don't know the full details, but somehow Izuku Midoriya was able to bring back Nana for 24 hours. So with nothing else to do, they just spend the rest of the 24 hours together. But before Nana returned to Otherworld, Shigaraki asked her, how did you move on? Nana tell him, pardon? Shigaraki tell her, after All For One killed you, how were you able to move on? Didn't you think that All might lose against All For One? Nana smile and tell him, of course I thought of that. Look kid, there is nothing in this world is concrete. There always will be doubt. The best thing that you can do is just have some faith and do your best and learn from your past. Don't live in it. You have to learn from your mistakes and make it better, because it is your life, your path to create. Don't let other people tell you what to do, because you only have one life in this world. You just need to make the most of it. Shigaraki stays silent, then he thanks her for everything. She pull him into a hug and tell him, just do your best, and when the time comes, I'll always be waiting for you in the other world. Shigaraki hugged her back and thanked her one more time. Then Baba took her away, and after he wiped his tear, he turned to Deku and tell him, thanks Izuku, I actually needed that. Deku wink and tell him, anytime buddy. So let's return try to get you Super Saiyan. Shigaraki smile and tell him, okay. So a couple of weeks went by, then All Might grab Shigaraki aside and tell him about his old group. They are afraid they are planning something because they haven't showed their faces for a while. Shigaraki starts thinking they are only in this mess because he lied to them about Stain. Then he tells All Might about some hideouts that maybe they are still in. He will tell them about them, but there is one condition. He need to talk with them first. All Might agreed, and after spending some time investigating which hideout they are in, they do the raid, and like All Might promised, Shigaraki went first to talk with them. At first they were happy to see him, they thought that right now they have a leader. Then Shigaraki explained the situation to them, that they have a bunch of pro hero outside, and they only give him 5 minutes. And during these 5 minutes, Shigaraki explained everything, how he was going to use them, how he lied about Stain, about All for One, and like you guys expected, they are pretty pissed because he ratted them out. But Shigaraki replied, if you compare them with other villains, there's still hope for them. After that, the 5 minutes are up and they raided the hideout. So they were taken to Tartarus, and after some exam they realized that Dabi is Toya. So they informed Endeavor and he was shocked to hear that. And it went as you guys expected. Toya did not want to hear anything from Endeavor, especially after everything that he did. Don't get me wrong, Endeavor still want to make things right, especially after the war. But with All Might still in the picture, he doesn't have the same burden that he did in the anime, or weight on his shoulders. So he's changing, but not as much as the anime. So time passed, with no big changes happening in the world, everything returned to normal. And during this time, Shigaraki was forgiven. After considering that he gave the information about the League of Villains, and he was a big help in the war, the charges were dropped. So he's a free man. So they do a small party, plus Shigaraki was able to go Super Saiyan. After the party, Deku asks Shigaraki what he will do next. Will he stay in UA? Shigaraki shook his head and tell him, I will take my grandma's advice and try to look for my own path. UA is not for me. I will try to get my lances, but it's a bit weird because I know I'm not using a quirk, so... Deku replied, yeah, trust me, you get used to it. So good luck. After that, a few months passed, Shigaraki did get his license, everyone from class 21 upgrade, and some of them start learning the Kaioken, because they don't have the privilege to go Super Saiyan like Deku. And like Shigaraki tell Deku, he start doing his own path. He did get an offer to work with Night Eye. At first he refused, he told him that he want to explore the world or try explore himself for a while. Night Eye tell him, you can still work for me, and you can do whatever you want. So what do you say? Shigaraki accept and start doing his own thing, flying from city to city, stopping every camera that come in his way, until he meets someone, Mirako. She started off by thanking him for saving her during the fight, and let's just say things escalate from there. So I know some of you guys will tell me to cover the sport festival for the second year, but it will not be interesting because everyone is so overpowered that the finals will be always against Deku and Bra. Sure, maybe Baku will use the room speed and time to increase his power, but Bra still have the edge in terms of power, and she's always training with Deku, so she will benefit on her training more than Bakugo. And this continues until they graduate. So some of them decide to stay in the same agency, others decide to do their own thing. So to make it short, the top 30 was taken by class 1A. Sure, Aizawa and All Might are there, but All Might is a bit old and thinking of retiring soon, and Aizawa is working, but sometimes he's lazy, so some students will surpass him. So one day Deku got a visitor, and it's Shigaraki. It's been almost 2 years since they last saw each other, with Deku busy with school and training and Shigaraki busy with his own work and something else. Plus Deku wanted to give Shigaraki as much space as he needed. So they start catching up, and Deku was surprised to hear that Shigaraki have a girlfriend. And he was most surprised to hear it's Mirako. He finds it a bit weird because she's older than him. Then Shigaraki points that he also spent some time in the hyperbolic time chamber. So technically they are not far apart. Fair enough, Deku said. And they start talking about how peaceful it was since that fight. But sadly, time of peace never lasts. Why? Because I say so. Deep in space, someone that managed to escape Earth all for one, and he's ready to claim Earth one more time. And I'm going to stop it right here. So what do you think of it, guys? What will happen next? And by the way, next part will be the finale. So what do you think will happen in the finale? Leave your thoughts in comments down below, and if you like the video, drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. And like always, guys, peace.